Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Philippine Trade Training Center Global MSME Academy webinars. This is our episode 2 for the Bouncing Back series. In a while, we will introduce to you our guests, but in the meantime, we would like to introduce to you our organization. We're the training arm of the Department of Trade and Industry, and we have more than 200 courses to offer you, all about entrepreneurial development and specialized courses for lifestyle, for processed food, and even for the services sector. But considering that we have now the enhanced community quarantine and we will not be able to reach you, or you cannot come to our office, we are doing this webinar, and hopefully we can reach and we can cover and we can offer more and more courses to you. We would want you to be part of this webinar today. We would want this to be as interactive as we can. So we will be having poll questions. We will be entertaining question and answer from all of you. We have 2 resource persons who will be properly introduced in a while. And we will also be hearing from you through our client satisfaction feedback, which we will show later. The link will be shown to you later. Yesterday was actually very interesting. Yusek Alma will be giving you a summary of what happened yesterday. But just to give you some of the points, the key takeaways that I was able to get from our 2 resource persons yesterday, from Mr. Joey Bermudez, who was talking about options for financial assistance and safety nets. There are things that I would like to highlight. He mentioned about 2 things: bridging measures and recovery measures. For bridging measures, he was mentioning something about wage subsidy, about regulatory relief, private sector initiatives, and advance payment of suppliers to, advance payment to suppliers of goods or services, so that we can also help those who are supplying our respective companies. And for the recovery measures, he was mentioning about recovery loans, 0 or negative interest rates, and of course, government guarantees to our MSMEs. Now, on the part of Dr. Benjamin Ko, who is from Asian Hospital and Medical Center, it's good to know that he was able to cite a lot of insights yesterday. Among them are to expand, extend, and ease. Number 2 is loading. I think Valencia is for long. One is hygiene. Next is segregated COVID and non-COVID cases in hospitals. And finally, he was also mentioning about decreasing the density of population in urban areas. I was able to read in one of the news reports yesterday the program about Balik Provincia that will be introduced by the government once we are all settled. So meaning all the urban areas which have very big population or the density is quite big, people will actually be encouraged to go back to their respective provinces. Or if there are no provinces, I think the government is thinking about how to develop or prepare areas for people to go to. Okay, so more of this will actually be given to you by Yusek Alma during the summary. But for those of you who wanted to catch the coverage that we had yesterday, they actually get it, or our team of the marketing and IT unit of the PTTC-GMEA was able to upload it yesterday. So I hope that you will be able to get it, or we hope that most of you who are here today would also be having the opportunity of watching it before joining us today. Okay, for our poll question, here's our poll question for today. Okay, here goes our poll question. Okay, our poll question for today is this: what challenges are you likely to encounter as you try to pace back to your business? We have choices here: funding and cutting costs, bringing employees back, changing business model, and finding new vendor in the supply chain. Okay, so please log on to bit.ly/Paul day 2 for your responses. And towards the end of our webinar today, we will also be showing to you the results of this webinar, or the poll rather. Okay, now to show you, this is going to be our program this afternoon. This is on support conditional freedom, providing insights on how to pace back the business operation, moving from conditional lifting of the ECQ to gradual return to normalcy, and transitioning back to conditional operation. We'll have two resource persons on tax breaks for MSME. The Philippine Tax Whiz, the CEO of Abria Consulting Group, in the person of Mr. Raymond Abria, will be joining us and covering later preparing for the office returns, addressing workshop issues, managing health concerns, and calibrating operations. This will be covered by the President of the ASEAN Society Philippines and Chair, CEO, Conference Committee of the Management Association of the Philippines, former Undersecretary Almarita Jimenez. Okay, this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to turn over to Albert, of course, proceeding to the content or the webinar proper. Yes, Yusek Alma, good afternoon.
Hello, Nelly. I'm really very glad that you're able to start with all of this, what you call this, summation of yesterday. So may I just put in my PowerPoint? Wait lang, ah.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it showing now?
Loading. Okay, it's on the screen, Yusek.
Yeah, I'll just put it in presentation format. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, Nelly, and good afternoon to everyone. And I especially would like to thank DTI, PTTC, Global MSME Academy team, who did a wonderful job yesterday and today of organizing and convening again this seminar, even if it was really very short time. I think we should commend them for continuing to work even in the lockdown scenario. On February 24, excuse me, I will just so I'll just check something. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Yes. Okay. Just give me 1 minute because I'm having technical difficulties. Sandali lang, ha?
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Here it is.
We're actually running.
Anyway.
Okay. Go.
Sige. So this webinar was planned so that each module is supposed to provide substance and context to what will come next. So there are two types of patients in this pandemic. Those that are experiencing physical pain and those that are undergoing financial pain. And that applies to both individuals and enterprises. So day one of the webinar series was all about finding out the lay of the land. What's the latest on COVID, meaning the physical disease side of it, and what is going on at the financing front or the financial pains that it is causing. These two are essential inputs to determine what we need to do right now and onwards, because they also provide realistic basis for our next steps. For continuity, let me just give a brief recap, although Nelly did a wonderful job of doing this already. But some of the key takeaways in the very interesting discussion we had yesterday with our guest experts, Maybridge Chair Joey Bermudez, who joined us from Toronto, Canada, and our good doctor, Pediatrics Infectious Diseases Specialist, Dr. Benjamin Ko. Benji shared the global and local statistics on COVID. From yesterday to today, there have been changes already, as reflected here from the data of the Department of Health, and it's now 6,981. Of course, mamayang 4 o'clock, it will probably change. He particularly noted that the doubling rate has lengthened, and he's very happy about that because that is a good sign that we are going towards flattening the curve eventually. He also emphasized key points that needs to be continued or carried out. And Nelly, I think, mentioned that some of these a while ago. Expand, extend, and ease towards a new normal, which means they are, I think, supporting calibrated getting out of the quarantine. Least risk to highest risk for social distancing violations. Of course, hygiene, the segregation of hospitals to COVID versus non-COVID. The practice of medicine will definitely change. We know that the health maintenance organizations will be affected and the paradigm shift to telehealth. Schools, not the least priority in terms of education being least priority, but the least priority in terms of opening because they can do also online. Then the density of any urban population should be taken into account, and every LGU must have their own testing facility and COVID facility in order to get out of an ECQ. On the part of Joey, chair of the Maybridge Financial Group, he noted in his presentation that one thing is common in the 1997 and 2008 crisis and the COVID crisis now, and that is both are hitting the MSMEs and the poor very badly. He shared his financial prescription for surviving what he calls the Corona Tunnel. And these are using your capital judiciously, that means bare bones spending, resource sharing and complementation, preserving your enterprise value by protecting your most valuable assets. You avoid a total shutout to the extent possible that the business must continue using whatever means possible so that you can open. And employee engagement via digital communication. He also says that help is coming, and let's all cross our fingers that this will really materialize so that we can start the business recovery process. Meanwhile, we all continue our search for relief, and we hope that the information that will be shared by our guest this afternoon can do just that. When the lockdown happened, the filing of income tax and other business reports, which would normally take up most of March and April, was postponed. So let me repeat, postponed, not waived. So the first thing we probably need to address are the business-related obligations and reports. And for this reason, we invited the Philippine Tax Whiz to share with us his insights on tax matters, especially for MSMEs. He's appointed in the advisory board of BIR for its performance governance scorecard adaptation, and he authored the paper on blueprint of authentic tax reform, which he presented during the first Philippine Tax Summit. He also serves as a tax consultant for the BIR Interactive Tax Filing Project, and he is a relied upon tax expert we are lucky to have in our MAP Ease of Doing Business Committee. Please welcome the CEO of the Asian Consulting Group, Raymond Abrea. Raymond.
Hi, good afternoon, Yusek.
Good afternoon.
Live from Pampanga.
Yes, okay. So maybe we now hear a presentation of Mr. Raymond Abrea, please.
Okay, so like what Yusek Alma mentioned, it's important that at this point, we gather our thoughts, we plan for the post-ECQ, what happens after. And considering that there were a lot of government requirements or compliance requirements that were supposedly due during the ECQ period, it's important to take note of all the revenue issuances related to that. Let me start with Revenue Regulation 10 2020. If this is a bit long issuance, but just to sum up, now that the president decided to further extend the ECQ period, there's a provision in this revenue regulation that clearly states that in case the ECQ period is further extended, all deadlines will have to be postponed or further extended 30 days after the lifting of the ECQ. Ang ibig sabihin po nun, simple lang. Huwag niyo na pong tarantay ng sarili niyo kung kailan ang deadline, kung bukas na ba or first day after ECQ period. Kasi ang sinabi ng RR 10-2020, 30 days after the lifting. So kung ang ECQ po ay magtatapos nawala yung presentation ko. Yan. Kung yung ECQ matatapos ng May 15, then the deadlines will be 30 days after May 15. Now, meron din po tayong Revenue Regulation 9-2020. Ito naman po para po dun sa mga companies or individuals na out of their charity and goodness of heart, nag-donate whether directly sa kamag-anak, sa kapitbahay, through LGU, through the barangay, or sa iba't ibang foundations or with the government. You are given 60 days after the ECQ period to file those donations para magamit mo namang deductible expense. Actually, I want to highlight at this point na for sure there are a lot of small businesses na may mga naging losses. I might be saying this might not be related to this may not be applicable to all na nag-donate. Paano ako magdo-donate? Nalugi nga ako. Well, the good news is 45 days after the lockdown, all of us, all businesses that incurred losses, you can file it to BIR para ma-claim niyo siya as deductible expense. Hindi mo man siya ma-refund, magagamit mo naman siya to further reduce your taxes. So ulitin ko po, halimbawa meron mga na-cancel na contract, mga nasirang ingredients, inventory losses or spoilage, lahat po yan i-document nyo po. After the lockdown, you have 45 days to file it to BIR para po ma-claim nyo siya as deductible expense para bumaba yung tax. Para naman po doon sa mga nag-donate or in whatever form or capacity, whether cash or in kind, or yung inventaryo nyo o yung mga pagkain nyo, make sure you document it as well para you can also claim it. Kasi within 60 days naman after the lockdown, pwede mo pa rin siyang i-claim as a deductible expense. And at the same time, why I am highlighting na dapat i-document, kasi po may 6% donor's tax. Winave po siya ng government, particularly ni DOF at ni BIR, through that revenue regulation, provided it's documented. Kaya importante po, kung nakikita nyo po yung slide, yan po mga revenue issuances na yan, you have to take note of it. You can check on the Bureau of Internal Revenue Philippines, yung official Facebook page nila, or yung BIR website, or you can follow as well our social media accounts. Basta ang mahalaga po, you have to take note na official pages po yung tignan natin. Kasi importante yung mga dates Kung winave ba, pinospone ba, magkaiba po kasi yon. Magkaiba yung winave, magkaiba yung moratorium, tulad nung sa rent, grace period po yun. Ibig sabihin, babayaran pa rin po natin. Pinopostpone lang siya. Sa BIR, ganun din po. Pinopostpone lang din po siya. Then there's another issuance. Yun naman pong may mga nag-expire na books of accounts, authority to print, resibo. Chill lang, relax lang. Extended din po yan. Wala po kayong dapat intindihin. Paano yan? Within the lockdown, meron akong kailangang issuehan, expired na yung resibo. You can use it. I-note mo lang na ECQ na kahit expired na siya, it's because of the ECQ, kaya pwede mo pa siyang i-issue. So, in short, lahat ng possible extension binigay ni BIR. We just have to take note of it. Same with the amnesty. Meron po tayong tinatawag na delinquency tax amnesty. Supposedly, ang deadline niya noong May 23 na in-extend ng June 8. At dahil na-extend ulit ang ECQ, i-extend ulit yan. Ano po ibig sabihin nun? Ito po yung mga small businesses or businesses in general na merong pending delinquent account or case sa BIR, whether nasa korte or nasa BIR pa, we-waive po lahat ng penalties at interest. Ito po yung delinquency tax amnesty. So, we will wait for the issuance of BIR, pero yung last issuance nila, June 8 yung deadline. So, in short, we have all the time after the lockdown. So, wag po tayong mataranta. Pero ang pinakamahalaga po, maraming nag-message sa Facebook, sa social media, paano yan, ino-audit ako, may hinihingi si BIR or yung examiner, tinawagan pa ako bago yung lockdown, maiilit daw yung property, if-freeze daw yung account, suspended din po ang audit and investigation ni BIR. In fact, ang suspension ng BIR audit, ito yung pinaka-good news, hindi lang after the lockdown, after the state of emergency. Yung state of national emergency, 6 months po siya, from March 22 until November something. So ibig sabihin, December April, May, June, July, August, September, may 60 days pa, October, November. So 60 days after the state of emergency. Yung state of national emergency 6 months from March 22. After nung 6 months, 60 days pa bago matuloy yung mga BIR audit. So right now, what we should be doing is really checking all our records, reconciling our tax returns, yung mga nabayaran o hindi dapat bayaran, or mga tax credits or whatever, para pagka natapos yung state of emergency and bumalik yung audit, we are all prepared. But again, rather than feeling bad, depressed, or ranting and feeling sorry about what's happening, I think ang pinaka critical ngayon is to make sure na ma-prepare natin yung mga documents while we are on a lockdown. Okay, so again, the revenue issuances are important for us to make sure na hindi tayo magkaroon ng problem sa BIR after the ECQ period. Now, last Monday, nag-publish ako sa Inquirer ng article, which is, ang ginawa ko, pinag-aralan ko lahat ng tax relief. Kasi right now, all countries, all governments around the world na naapektuhan ng COVID-19, nagpe-prepare na sila ng tinatawag na economic recovery plan. And part of that economic recovery plan is actually a tax relief program, or kung paano ba matutulungan ang ating mga small businesses na may problema or na kailangan ng assistance pagdating sa kanilang taxes. And ito po yung pinopropose ko ngayon. So I'll briefly discuss it. Baka may mas maganda kayong idea, but more or less ito yung mga nakita natin sa iba't ibang bansa, at nagdagdag din ako kung ano pa yung mga pwedeng i-consider. So number one, I am proposing for a general tax amnesty. Kung naaalala nyo, nung pinasa yung Tax Amnesty Act, vinito ni President Duterte yung general tax amnesty kasi nawala yung lifting ng bank secrecy. So dito po, sa proposal natin, ganun pa rin. We would encourage na ibalik ng Congress yung lifting ng bank secrecy. Pero ang proposal ko po dito sa general tax amnesty, this time around, is mas mababa na yung rate. Kasi parang sa akin, kesa sa mag-audit or i-audit pa yung mga malilit na negosyo, kahit yung malalaki, considering sa losses natin at sa pinagdadaanan natin dito sa pandemic na to, I think the general tax amnesty is really more of a reprieve or a tax relief para matulungan lahat na mag-reset, magsimula ulit sa simula. So, pag in-avail yung general tax amnesty, literally, pardon na lahat ng previous tax problems mo or deficiency mo, hindi ka na i-audit ni BIR. So, yun yung reason kung bakit pinopropose ko yung general tax amnesty. Kasi naniniwala ako na yung mga merong pondo or merong mga ipon, they can avail it and they will be saving a lot kesa sa i-audit pa sila ni BIR pa ulit-ulit after the lockdown. So there will be more savings dahil under the amnesty, syempre, waive lahat ng penalties. In fact, ang proposal ni Congressman Joey Salceda, 3% of the equity. Ako, I'm even proposing 1% para sa mga micro businesses. So, sa Monday, this coming Monday, yun yung article ko sa Inquirer. Meron pa akong table na kinreate para lang mabigyan ng idea yung ating Congress pagka balik nila sa session kung ano yung possibility na i-offer na amnesty para whether micro, small, medium, or large, mag-avail ng amnesty. So in short, instant collection kay government provided forgive and forget na. Wala nang habulan or balikan ng kaso. Then of course, yung matagal nang pinag-uusapan na si TIRA or yung pagbaba ng corporate income tax, I honestly feel kung ang China nga nag-cut down into half ng kanilang VAT or yung iba, ang Taiwan, surprisingly, yung income tax nila 1 year pinospone. So, sabi ng government ng Taiwan, don't think about your taxes. You can deal with that after 1 year. Or, you have 3 years to pay. Ganun ka generous. Sa akin, ang proposal ko, of course, if the Philippine government can also adopt that, medyo mahirap lang kasi nga, diba, they're already talking about borrowing funds. So, in short, nangangailangan na yung gobyerno ng pondo. Ang sa akin po, why don't we immediately lower the corporate income tax? So marami sa ating mga small and medium enterprises, incorporated or korporasyon. Ang proposal ko from 30 immediately this year, effective this year, gawin ng 25% para sa large companies and 20% baba kagad para sa small and medium. Again, meron mga provisions para hindi malugi yung gobyerno. Kasi syempre, hindi din natin may iwasan. There will be taxpayers who will be very irresponsible or would not really pay taxes. We don't want to tolerate that. Ang hinihiling po natin dito, the government will really reduce our burden. So, kung maibababa natin siya kagad, kasi ang proposal ni DOF, 10 years in the making, the pandemic is already a sign that we need to address the issues with our tax system. And this is the perfect timing. Reset ang lahat eh. After the lockdown, ang perfect opportunity dyan, rather than threatening companies to pay taxes, attract them by reducing the rates from 30 down to 20. Anyway, ang threshold ni BAR, 5% lang. And I also wrote that in my article on Monday, just to give DOF a perspective of what's happening on the field. Hindi naman talaga lahat nakakasunod sa requirements, hindi naman talaga lahat ng tax na babayaran ng tama. But if we can reduce it to the point na magiging affordable, acceptable, baka naman magulat tayo. Mas tumaas yung collection natin, di ba? And yung third ko, I would encourage everyone to really check on this. Sabihin nyo sa akin kung tama ako o mali. Kasi yung 205 billion na binigay dun sa 18 million poorest families or yung sinasabi nga nating underprivileged, wala akong problem dun. Ang nakita ko lang yung bad effect niya. Kasi karamihan dun sa nakatanggap, wala talagang trabaho at mukhang hindi na nagtrabaho talaga. So mas naging relax sila. Samantalang yung mga empleyado, parang sila yung naging hindi na prioritize. And given dun sa going back dun sa small business wage subsidy, I encourage everyone, extended yung deadline hanggang May 8. So if I were you try to check kung pre-qualified kayo sa BIR website. Kapag pre-qualified kayo, apply kayo kagad dun sa SSS. I-require lang naman kayong magkaroon ng my.sss account. Ang point ko dun is, avail it kasi it's 8,000 per month for 2 months. So sayang din siya. Pero anong point ko? According to the record of DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment, nasa 40 million plus ang labor force natin. Pero sa SSS, nasa 30 million ang active employees na registered. Pero sa BIR, nasa 17 million lang ang registered employees. So kapag ang pinagbasihan ni BIR, kung sino lang yung nasa record nila or yung compliant lang, baka lumiit na lumiit yun, imbis na matulungan natin. Paano yung mga, let's say for instance, kanina ka-text ko si Dingdong, he was talking about yung mga 200 to 300 people working kapag nagte-taping or nagsushooting sila just to produce teleserye. Hindi naman lahat yun employed. Diba karamihan doon, job order or part-timer or project-based. Paano kung wala silang SSS or BIR? Hindi po ba mas maganda? And I would also want to hear the comment of Yusek Alma. Hindi po ba maganda? Ito yung perfect opportunity to bring them on board. Instead na wag natin silang pansinin, isama natin sila pero i-register na natin silang lahat. And kung meron mang penalty dahil unfair naman, ba't ako nag-register, nagbayad, etc. O hindi ibawas natin sa matatanggap nila, but give it to all. Kasi sa ibang bansa, walang small, medium, lahat ng empleyado nakatanggap. And that is what I am proposing. Anyway, the government is releasing funds. Anyway, these are our tax money. So, para sa akin, tax credit or rebate for employees, like for instance, ako, 30,000 halimbawa, example, 30,000 yung withholding tax ko. Ibig sabihin, wala akong matatanggap sa government, hindi rin ako nakapagtrabaho may mga losses din ako. Diba? Galagyan natin ng threshold. Let's say yun nga, 8,000, max of 8,000. So, big income earner ka, middle class ka, or maximum 8,000. Pero kung wala kang withholding tax, you'll get the 8,000. Talagang pera. Pero kung meron kang tax, diba, at least mabawasan yung tax mo in the coming months. So that's what I am proposing. It's a tax credit or rebate para sa ating mga empleyado. At sana po, lahat ng empleyado. Talagang bigyan lahat ng credit or rebate ang lahat ng empleyado. Then, yung sa tax holiday naman po, ang pinopropose ko po talaga for the small businesses, i-waive muna yung VAT kasi more than 60% naman ng collection natin nasa large taxpayers. Less than 3,000 sila. Ganun kalaki yung collection or naku-contribute nila. I think hindi naman malaking mawawala sa government kung we can give a tax holiday para sa lahat ng mga small businesses. In fact, I want us to transition from having business tax, income tax, that's may business permit pa or local tax pa, na i-introduce na natin yung flat tax, at least for small businesses. Flat tax, let's say 8%. 8% na lang. Wala ng business permit, wala ng VAT or percentage tax, wala ng isa na lang. And I think that would really simplify everything. And ako honestly, tingin ko, there will really be better compliance, more compliance from our small businesses. Kasi diba, ang problem natin sa mga small businesses, cash. And that is exactly what's happening right now. Lahat natatakot, lahat nangangamba, lahat natutuyuan na ng pondo. It's really a cash problem. This is not about whether maganda yung business mo, sustainable ba yung business mo. Hindi, the pandemic came and surprised all of us. It was never scheduled. Nobody was prepared for this. And unfortunately, for small businesses, you don't have that funding unlike the conglomerates. Diba? Si San Miguel nga, and I'm saying this because they are a good company in terms of compliance. Imagine mo, San Miguel Corporation, for the longest time, is a consistent corporate taxpayer, including Mr. Ramon Ang. But at the same time, during this crisis, they donated more than 1 billion already. So, yung mga ganon, they have the funds. Ibig sabihin ba, mas mabuti sila kaysa sa atin? Hindi naman. It's just that, diba sabi nga nila, to those who are given much is expected. So in short, talagang they are being more generous. But for those of us na medyo nahihirapan, I think the government should really take care of us. And not just the unemployed or yung sinasabi nga natin, the underprivileged. Sana naman yung mga struggling and those who are thriving businesses, matulungan sila during this crisis. And tax holiday, I think, is very important. So si tax holiday, dalawa yung pwede nyo tignan. Either totally i-relieve tayo sa tax burden natin this year, i-postpone yung payment or bigyan ng installment, or talagang i-waive muna yung VAT para we just pay one tax until the end of the year. Remember, most of us, we haven't filed our income tax for 2019. So imagine mo magpapatong-patong yun. Of course, walang sales ng April then May, walang tax. But how about the 2019 kung nagamit mo yung pera? So I think it's quite obvious na cash problem talaga ang pinagdadaanan ng ating small businesses. I was talking to Secretary Lopez, minessage ko din siya, and ang cute nga kasi given all the stress, si Secretary Lopez is really still very responsive. Ang shinare ko din sa kanya yung proposal ko for the tax breaks because I think they are still preparing for the economic recovery plan, and it's a perfect opportunity for like this session para ma-consolidate yung mga thoughts, yung proposal, matulong natin sa government in crafting or coming up with that economic recovery plan. But I will really insist na if not all, some of these proposals will also be part of it. These tax breaks are much needed, and of course para ma-attract natin yung mga large corporations, large taxpayer, conglomerates, no audit muna. Let them pay this much, and if they qualify a certain threshold, give them peace of mind na hindi sila yung audit ni BIR. I think a lot of big corporations will take advantage of that, considering that a lot of them gave up so much millions, if not billion, donation to help the Philippines. So what I am looking at is talagang dapat collaboration between the government and the private sector. And my article last Monday in Inquirer discussed that kasi merong website, ang tawag, organization, ang tawag sa kanya Tax Foundation organization, kinonsolidate niya lahat ng ginagawa ng iba't ibang bansa. And I honestly think the Philippines is not behind. Marami tayong interventions na ginagawa, but a lot of them are short-term. We need a long-term intervention. Tax amnesty is a long-term intervention. Why? It will broaden the base. Lowering corporate income tax is a long-term intervention. Why? It will correct the rate. Sobrang taas ng rate. It will make us more competitive. Tax credit for employees, hindi lang siya tulong dahil naawa ka. It's really giving them more purchasing power after the pandemic. Then tax holiday to really restart, tulungang ma-reboot ang ating mga small businesses. And of course, yung no audit is sort of really bonus para sa ating mga big corporations who would really be very magnanimous in paying more taxes. Imaginein mo if they will be reassured na hindi sila yung audit, a lot of them will take advantage of that. And finally, to all those who are participating here, all informations are free in social media. Just be careful kung fake news ba yun or reliable. And I am happy to share with you, our foundation, CSR Philippines, is the official advocacy partner of DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, Bureau of Internal Revenue, and the Anti-Red Tape Authority. So, pag pinuntahan niyo yung Facebook page ng CSR Philippines, ang makikita niyo lang dyan puro about government programs, our partnership, our advocacy information campaign, education campaign, para ma-empower ang ating mga MSMEs at ma-push yung tax reform. Then, our tax social enterprise, Asian Consulting Group, yan yung nag-develop no mobile app. So I encourage everyone to download our mobile app. It's for free, TaxSwiss PH. Pag nag-download po kayo ng mobile app, meron po siyang chat feature. Ako po mismo yung makaka-chat nyo. Every day I reply. I've been replying to a lot of questions. Yung iba nakakatawa kasi nahihiya pa. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, just ask your questions. Kasi po hindi na kami sumasagot sa Facebook. So we answer through the mobile app. So I encourage everyone here who's participating to please do download our mobile app. It's TaxSwiss PH. Available po siya sa Google Play for free, and I answer all tax questions. Then please do follow us in all our social media accounts. So I guess that's it.
Wow, that's a mouthful, Raymond. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And ang hirap-hirap naman ng ano. I'm sure we're having a lot of questions. Medyo information overload ang mga ano. So, we'd like to give them a chance to ask you. Nandyan ka na rin lang naman. If you will allow them. Nelly, can you moderate the Q&A if our MSMEs has something to say?
Yeah, okay. We had no less than the tax whiz PH himself in our webinar, and it's actually our privilege to have him. Before we go to the questions, Sir Raymond, Miss Cristel Bertudes was saying, is it your birthday today? Birthday yun daw nga ba?
Ano pa?
Birthday mo daw?
Birthday nyo daw po ngayon.
Hindi po, sino nagkalat ng fake news?
Birthday mo ba,
Okay.
Raymond? Hindi mo sinasabi.
Hindi ko po birthday. September pa po birthday ko.
Biglang naisingit. Okay, sige. Ito po, this is the first question nasa chat room natin. What is acceptable documentation for 1, donations, and 2, canceled transactions or contracts? Acceptable documentations.
Okay, yung para po sa donation, meron pong certificate of donation or deeds of donation. Pwede din po ang acknowledgement receipt. Kapag ka po sa government po tayo nag-donate, you can ask for a certificate of donation. Kapag ka naman, kasi sa tax code, kung hindi nag-issue kung hindi ni-release yung revenue issuance, you cannot donate to private companies or direct to individuals. Matcha-charge ka ng donor's tax. And right now, it's 6%. But because of this pandemic, we need ng government, provided we ask for this document. So pag government po, certificate of donation. Pag private sector, you can execute a deed of donation para lang may proof na talagang dinonate mo siya or ni-release mo siya. Yung mga nagdo-donate ng mga pagkain, mga products sila, at the very least acknowledgement receipt with picture para maganda. Kasi in the end naman, we just want to remove suspicion na baka naman pinagsamantalahan mo pa tong crisis, 'di ba? So don't feel bad. Put yourself in the shoes of the government. We cannot just give it away. So we have to make sure na worth it naman yung mga ibibigay na deduction or tax relief ng government. So then para naman dun sa what's that? So donation and
Cancelled transactions.
ayun, para naman po dun sa mga losses, canceled contracts, or proof na na-cancel yung contract or binalik yung goods or returned ng mga receipts or kung nasira yung mga raw materials, picturean nyo din po siya. Pero ang critical po sa mga losses is actually yung amount. So, 45 days after ng lockdown, pag nilift yung lockdown, kailangan pagka sinubmit mo siya sa BIR, may estimate amount ka. Hindi pwedeng sinabi mo lang na nalugi ako, ganyan. Kailangan, kung product siya, gaano karami, kung mga nasirang gamit siya or whatever possible losses na na-incur mo during the lockdown period.
Okay, there's sabi, will the reckoning point of the 30-day extension.
Sorry po, ano po yun?
Okay. Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ayan po, sorry. Ano po yung question?
The question is, will the reckoning point of the 30-day period extension relevant to filing of tax return differ from one area to another, given that the date of lifting for ECQ also varies?
Yes, kasi po yung unless mag-i-issue ulit si BIR but based on our Revenue Regulation 10-2020, malinaw po yung provision na in case ECQ is further extended, ang magiging deadline na po is 30 days after the lifting of the ECQ. So kung sa probinsya nyo, sa region nyo, na-lift na yung ECQ, then tatakbo na yung 30 days. And I think the BIR offices will also issue a memorandum on that. But at least the general rule, 30 days after the lifting. So hindi po siya nationwide lifting. Kung pag na-lift yung sa region nyo, then the 30 days will start.
Yes. Okay. Now the question, we hope that the tax break and hopefully amnesty will also cover the professionals like custom brokers, CPAs, etc.
Lahat po, everyone is covered. The bill was already filed by Congressman Salceda. I think they will be discussing it upon resumption of session on May 4. Magvo-virtual daw sila eh. So let's all pray, hope and pray na mapasa siya kagad. Because remember, the only reason ba't siya vinito ni President Duterte kasi tinanggal nila yung lifting ng bank secrecy. Again, I don't see any problem with that considering na for fraud cases lang naman siya or related dun sa case. So I think that that's something that will be passed immediately. Nawala po. Hello?
Nelly?
Ma'am, nawala. Naka-mute ka, ma'am.
Oo nga.
Sorry, nakamute nga. Okay, sorry. The tax credit or rebate for employees, does it include the government employees?
Opo, actually yung proposal po, kasi nga po, ang maganda lang po sa government natin, talagang yung short term or immediate, nagagawa nila kagad ang paraan. Pero kasi yung proposal ko is long term, na dapat makover lahat. Kasi unfair naman, may nag-post nga sa Facebook, lahat kami nagbayad ng tax, but di kami lahat nakatanggap. May point po yun. Kasi in this crisis, walang dapat mayaman mahirap. Anyway, may threshold naman eh. I mean, for a very, very rich people, 8,000 will be nothing. And they can waive it. Kumbaga, give that privilege to them. Pero the greater manggagawa, they're not rich. I mean, 17 million employees, they're not rich. So I think they deserve the tax rebate or credit. And let those who are really rich waive it if they really don't want to receive the rebate.
Okay. Ang sabi niya po, I agree that are not declared, not reported part of 1601C. Hindi sila kasama.
Ma'am Chappie, ano po yun?
Okay, ulit po. Sabi niya po dito, I think this pertains to your yung proposal number 3.
Tax
Okay?
rebate.
Sabi niya dito, yes, I agree, o yung sa SSS, my SSS, yung we should include, you were saying that there are 40 million in the labor force, but only 30 million are registered in the SSS,
SSS.
my SSS.
Tapos
That's
17
gov.
million lang sa
Okay, yeah,
BIR.
I agree that all should be included. There are yes, there are spa and parlors that are paying for their staff that are allowance commission based, so they are not declared as employees because they are not reported as employees, which is part of Alpha List and 1601C. Hindi sila kasama. Your reaction, sir?
Correct. Correct po. Kaya nga po maganda po na si Yusek Carl na ngayon ay acting NEDA chair was given a tall order by the president na i-prioritize yung national ID system because we really have to be part of one database. Kasi ang problem is hiwa-hiwalay talaga eh. Hiwalay yung record ni SSS, ni Pag-ibig, ni PhilHealth, ni Dole, and now in this crisis na-realize natin wala pala tayong one file na pwedeng tignan. Sino ba talaga yung and it's sad kasi nga even yung sa sinasabi natin na middle class, sino ba talaga yung middle class? Parang is there really an updated database that will really identify me as middle class, rich, or ano ba yung classification ko? So I think the national ID system will really help. And ako rather than seeing just the problem, I see this as a perfect opportunity for us to work with the government to reboot and really work things out. Matali mo lang yung 40 million na labor force with SSS, BIR. I'm not asking them to pay. We just need them to be part of the database. So yung mga mahihirap o maliit ang sweldo, yung iba nag-react sa Facebook, mayaman kayo kaya ganyan reaction nyo sa pagbabay. No, we are not asking you to pay. We just need you to be in the database. That's all. If you're unemployed, minimum wage, we're not judging you. Ang sabi lang natin, the government needs to know where we are, who we are, and how much we're making so that the intervention is targeted. Diba? Like for instance, in our company, alam ko kung sino yung mababa ang sweldo, sino yung malaki ang sweldo, sino yung pwedeng tulungan. And just to share with everyone, nung pumasa yung train law, kasi nakikita ko yung poster train nung pumasa yung train law, maraming nagalit sa akin kasi tumaas daw yung presyo, which is actually partly because of the oil prices, diba? I personally gave a train allowance to those receiving below 20,000 in our office. First, kumbaga, pwede mo sabihin na guilty ako, but at the same time, I have the resources, so I extended it to them. So parang feeling ko yun dapat yung mindset natin. Tulungan tayo with the government. Kung sino yung mas may resources, we work it out with the government. Kung sino yung kailangan ng tulong, sana may database na objectively magiging reference ni government. And happy ako kay BIR kasi very proactive sila. At the fact na yung small business wage subsidy, BIR is part of that program, malaking pasasalamat natin sa kanila. Ramdam natin na kahit papano, hindi man ako makatanggap, at least yung buwis ko, alam ko napunta sa mga nangangailangan ng empleyado. And I'll be happy also to extend this to government employees. Wala pong pinagkaiba yun, private or government, empleyado pa rin po yun. Dapat lahat po makatanggap. And I think Australia did that, 1,200 Australian dollars every 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, to all employees, lahat ng registered employees. And that's what we're proposing. FYI, the Economic Recovery Plan is still in the process of finalization. Wala pang final. Yung 1.4 trillion na pinakita ni Secretary Dominguez, Pillar 1, 2, 3 pa lang. Yung Pillar 4 wala pa. Yun yung Economic Recovery Plan. So let's all hope and pray and suggest whatever we can through all kinds of this session or kung kilala niyo yung congressman or sino man yung pwedeng makaalam at paano nila tayo matutulungan. Like what I've said, Ding Dong before this session, Ding Dong Dantes and I were texting and he was raising the concern. Bon, paano naman yung sa mga production, marami sa kanila talaga malilit lang din ang kita. How do we now go back to normal and how will they be helped by the government? Kung hindi sila empleyado ng mga network kasi production staff or crew sila ng teleserye. 'Diba? So, for those of you who are watching, imagine mo si, ano nga bang role niya sa Descendants of the Sun sa GMA. So, ang concern niya yung hundreds of staff na kasama niya. Let me just
Yes.
check yun. Ayun, 50 to 200 people. Ang text niya, 50 to 200 people na katrabaho nila sa mga remote locations. How will they be helped? So again, it goes back dun sa drawing board. Kailangan ng government ng database. And the
Yes.
national ID system, I think, is the best way to really put us all in one record, in one file.
Yes, tama po yung sinasabi nyo kanina na now is the time to get them on board. I-register na po natin sa SSS, i-register natin sa kung ano man pong database or data merong ginagawa po yung government natin. Ang ganda po ng mga proposals
Yes.
nyo, sir. Okay, here's another
Thank you
question.
po.
Yeah, sabi niya, closing a business is much more difficult than operating one in terms of documentation with the BIR. If one is having difficulties with the penalties of open cases, could these fees be waived?
Yes po. Number one, we are working with the BIR and the anti-red tape to address that. In fact, hindi lang sa BIR, pati sa LGU, mahirap mag-close. One of the things that we're looking at is standardize yung pag-waive ng fees. Halimbawa, marami sa mga nagko-close ng business na hindi pala nag-operate, whether nag-OFW or bumalik sa pagiging employee, pero na-register nila, akala nila okay lang. Nag-accumulate ng open cases. Dapat may standard options yung mga SMEs na ganun. Kasi pwede kang magpa-waive kapag hindi nag-operate eh. Just execute affidavit of no operation. Or kapag ka nawala yung document, sina-charge ng 50,000 penalty ni BIR. But you can actually execute affidavit of loss kung talagang nawala. Especially, ito yung mga recent questions na natanggap ko doon sa mobile app. So, I encourage those who are present here, download our app. Ako po talaga yung makaka-chat nyo doon. Ang dami ko natutunan na itong mga to tanong pa rin hanggang ngayon. Hindi pa pala siya talaga nasasagot. So, wag po kayo basta-basta pupunta sa BIR nang hindi kayo aware or informed dun sa existing regulation. Why? The mindset of BIR is to collect. They're not bad people, but they are collectors. So, ang tendency pag pumunta ka sa kanila, kay DTI, in-encourage ka, binigyan ka ng inspiration. Ayan, register ka naman, ganyan. Pagdating mo kay DTI, late siya, may penalty. Wala to, may penalty. Hindi sila masamang tao, yun yung regulation. So, it's really important and I think PTTC is really doing a great job kasi importante, unti-unti na absorb natin to. Sabi ko nga dun sa mga estudyante ko sa UANP, dun sa kanilang entrepreneur program and sa Ateneo, sa MBA, tax is something that has to be part of our lifestyle. Alam mo yung pag bibilin ka, uy, may 12% VAT yan, bababa yung VAT ko. Parang ganun ba? A little more. And I'm happy kasi yung mga celebrities na tinutulungan namin, ganyan na yung mindset nila. Sila James Reid, sila Nadine Lustre, sila Tito Boy. Pag alam nilang filing, when they call me, Mon, ano ba yung pwede nating maging tax savings? Sige, meron ba tayong resibo sa ganitong natin? Forward it to us so we can check. So, mas nagiging mindful yung ating mga taxpayers at hindi po masama yun kasi ito po yung mga tax saving measures. And itong tax breaks po, hindi po ito pagtakbo sa responsibilidad natin. We're actually helping the government paano siya makakakolekta nang hindi tayo masyadong mababurden. So, for the most of you who are listening to me, wag po tayong matakot sa BIR, but hope and pray na yung tax reform mag-pivot through this after this pandemic, mas gumanda o mas maging responsive yung tax reform na maging simple talaga, patas at efficient talaga, na hindi matakot yung mga tao.
Okay, thank you very much. In these days po, alam natin ang dami mga nagdo-donate na ating mga kababayan, mga MSMEs in terms of PPE, food, etc. Question
Yes.
is, sabi niya po, we donated PPEs to hospitals and doctors. Can we declare donation to help lower taxes? How many % will it deduct?
Yes, ganito po yan. If it's less than 250,000, it's automatic tax exempt. So, kapag nag-donate po kayo ng mga PPE, etc., kung pag in-estimate mo siya less than 250,000, you can just file the donor's tax, ilalagay mo lang yung amount, basta less than 250,000, exempted po yun. Pwede mo ding gamitin yung dinonate mo as deductible expense, ang tawag doon charitable contribution. So, makakababa po sa tax natin yan. Pero yung malalaki yung dinonate, 100 million, 50 million, or let's say, kahit na 1 million, lagpas dun sa 250,000 na tax-exempt donation. Kailangan po natin ng certificate of donation, acknowledgement receipt, kumbaga pruweba. Kailangan natin ng supporting document. Wag pong laway lang. Kailangan may mapakita tayo pagka kinlaim natin siya that it was really given to a hospital, to church, to barangay, or to LGU.
Okay, pati nga kami sa government rin, yun, kinakailangan talaga may acknowledgement receipt. We also have them sign it, parang proof rin. Kasama yun,
Yes.
Kailangan talaga may documentation, pati picture nga pwede kasama. Okay,
Actually, si PIR,
meron pa isang tanong dito, sir. Yes.
Opo. Sige po.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ayun. Si BIR, actually nagbiro pa nga minsan si BIR, kahit selfie tatanggapin nga nila. Ang kailangan lang nila, proof na talagang na-donate or naibigay or halimbawa sinabi mo, nasira yung mga pagkain. Kahit na picture, selfie ka dun sa sirang pagkain, whatever. Ang point lang dun is may mapakita tayo na hindi tayo nanloloko or hindi tayo nagtitake advantage dun sa provision ng batas. I think that's something fair naman. Hindi naman siya OA.
Yes. Oo. Okay, question for Mali. Yung kanina kasi mga anonymous. Sabi niya po, for uncollected receivables from businesses affected by the pandemic, is it necessary to file a legal case before writing off or an establishment of financial standing sufficient to support the write-off?
Demand letter po, kahit hindi mo i-file yung case, you need to at least issue a demand letter. Tapos, yun na, if they can substantiate kung bakit hindi na talaga sila makapagbayad, I think that will already be acceptable. Kasi diba, pwede naman yung iba mag-claim lang na hindi nakakolekta. So, kailangan may proof na nangongolekta ka talaga at hindi talaga nila mabayaran. So, that can be acceptable already.
Okay, another question. Thank you for pointing out the need to give some assistance to the employees. However, we are currently having problems accessing SSS to apply for possible assistance. What other avenues of assistance do employees have with this extended ECQ?
Okay, in-extend na po yung deadline. Sinabi naman po ng government na talagang medyo sumugod talaga lahat kaya nag-down yung system. So, extended na po yung pag-a-apply until May 8 for the first tranche. Kasi diba, May 1 to 15 maglalabas ng first subsidy, which is maximum of 8,000 per employee. Then, May 16 to 30, another tranche for another 8,000 maximum per employee. So, right now, yun po yung available. Kapag nag-claim ka na sa DOLE, kasi diba mayroong mga unemployed or mga nabigyan na ng DOLE, 1 month na lang yung matatanggap mo, hindi na 2 months. May record sila, marerecon nila yon. So, tayo, basta qualified, mag-apply tayo para matanggap lahat ng empleyado. Other than that, right now, wala pa po talaga. Kasi parang ang nangyari nga, inuna ng government yung talagang pinaka-vulnerable. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, actually the term vulnerable is kind subjective. Kasi vulnerable sila dahil talagang underprivileged sila. Pero marami po sa ating mga kababayan, kaya nasa kondo kasi may pangbayad, nagtatrabaho. Tumigil yung sahod o tumigil yung racket. Paano siya magbabayad ng ano? Kaya may grace period naman. Pagkatapos ng lockdown, magbabayad ka pa rin. So again, yung mga labor force po natin, or actually the middle class is not even the right term. Employees in general, they all need to get something. And my commitment, at least my personal effort, is to really discuss this with the secretary and those whom I am in touch with para makonsider talaga nila. Again, this is the time to help the government. So kaysa sa mag-grant tayo, bigay natin yung suggestion natin. So, on Monday, you can check my article sa Inquirer kasi baka you can also share it. Malay mo, makita ng congressman, senador, ni Senator Bongo. Of course, we will send it to them. Pero iba pa rin yung maraming makakakita na, possible pala yan, ginawa sa Australia, ginawa sa Canada, or sa whatever. So, I think that's the point. This is not asking too much. This is really also helping the government help us the right way.
Yeah, I think ang government na po natin ngayon very open. They've actually been
Yes,
getting parang inputs from a lot of people. So yon,
yes,
tulong-tulong
agree,
tayo
agree.
parating po natin sa mga policy makers natin. Okay, last three questions po before I turn over to Yusek Alma. Baka may mga gusto pa siyang idagdag. Sabi dito po, what about using Pareto principle? Begin muna with biggest taxpayers and later deadlines for MSMEs.
Yes, that's part of our proposal na yung small businesses or those who are not large taxpayers, kung pwedeng i-adapt yung sa Taiwan, which is 1 year. After 1 year pa sila mag-comply. But again, we have to let the Department of Finance, NEDA, to look into the economic implication of that. Just to inform you, kaya ko po kayo ini-encourage na i-check yung article kasi po ni-research ko po yung mga data doon para we can help the government understand our situation. More than 60% of our collections are actually from large taxpayers. So, kung meron mang i-compromise or i-delay yung government, yung less than 40%. And we're not saying zero. What we're saying is i-delay or i-flat tax babaan. But the large taxpayer, basta mas lalo na ngayon, they were able to donate a lot. So I think they know exactly what the government needs at this point. So if the large taxpayer will be, kung ako lang kay presidente, patawag ko lahat ng large taxpayer. Mr. Ramon Ang donated more than 1 billion. Imagine if i-dinner ni presidente lahat yan. Diba? Yung NPA, wag na niya awayin. Ito, tawagin niya lahat. Imagine mo yan. Sa akin, that's a big deal. The Ayala, the sila, SM, etc., they will really be more than happy. Anyway, it's their obligation. It's a matter of asking our big brother. Tayo yung small yung big brother, please take care of us muna. Parang ganon. Yes, that's very possible.
Okay. Okay, here's another question, this time from Lorena Noble. SBWs. My company is on its third year compliance with BIR from its registration date in March 2017. SBW's BIR-FA requires 3 years up to January 2020, which disqualifies us in availing the FA. Will this rule be changed considering all your favorable proposals? Thank you, sir. That's the question.
Yeah, the IATF said, the DOF particularly mentioned already na they will include everyone. They are just prioritizing those who are compliant and with that criteria. So if you're saying is masasama ba kami, mababago ba yan? That's the first batch, meaning the first yung priority. So I honestly think to give all employees is possible. Kasi even yung sa large taxpayers, ibig sabihin pagka San Miguel corporation employee ako, I don't need help? No. Kaya priority lang yan. I think everyone will get sooner or later. We just have to give time to the government kasi medyo talagang bugbugan yung issues eh.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this time, Department of Finance aid package through BIR and SSS, assuming on entry or assuming an entity has BIR pre-qualification and no pending cases, would you know if a business can enroll its members with SSS during this time to avail of the aid?
That's what I'm proposing. I'm proposing na kung hindi naka-register, kung hindi compliant, let them register now. Yun yung proposal ko po. But if you will follow yung criteria ni-release nila, hindi ka makakatanggap kasi either hindi ka registered or hindi ka compliant eh. But that's what I'm proposing. This is the perfect opportunity to let everyone register now, whatever, para masama kayong lahat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Our last question, although yung isa, two questions actually. The last one is request for you to flash you on the screen. Yun po yatang Facebook account nyo kanina. Okay, from Sam Bautista, for employees or corporate officer who donated. Yes.
I think we can share it to them naman. Share the 3 slides
okay,
na lang.
Sige po. Okay, sige po. Sabi dito po, yung last question natin, for employees or corporate officer who donated a percentage of their pay for the company's donation drive, can they claim that as tax deductible?
For employees, hindi. Wala naman po deductions sa employees eh. But you can appeal to the company. Kaya lang, the fact na you were asked to help eh. So you can employees don't have deductible expense eh. So the best way is for your employer to reward you or refund you for that. I don't know. but the government, no.
Okay, that actually completes our question and answer portion this afternoon. Unless
Thank you.
Yusek Alma, would you want to shoot any more questions, Yusek Alma?
No, I wanted to give a chance to everyone sa mga MSME attendees natin to ask the question from Mon. That's why I purposely just fielded him na speaker today because I know that he will have an avalanche of questions coming from them. And there's a lot of things that they would like to know. But I'm glad that he shared his app. So that means you
Yes,
get to
that's
talk
free.
to him. And I think the only question we have is, will we get to meet Ding Dong Dantes?
Or James Reid. Yes. Actually, dahil na-extend Yusek Alma, na-extend yung ECQ, we're planning to do mga Facebook or YouTube live with the different celebrities. Kasi we're helping a lot of artista eh. So just follow our social media. You will be entertained in the next 2 weeks. Even with Tito Boy, he was asking if I want to do a fast talk with the different celebrities. Sabi ko, sige, gawin natin. Ano ba, sex, tax, chocolates.
Kaya gustong-gusto
Kasi medyo-
namin si Mona umaattend ng meeting sa MAP kasi masaya
No,
pag
because
nandun siya.
stress ang maraming tao. I think
That's true.
at the
That's
very
true.
least, what we can do is to give them a smile and remind them that life is still beautiful.
That's right. That's right. So for those who are tuned in today with us for this webinar, he has already provided you with this app and you can call him anytime and he promises to answer
I
it
will reply.
himself. Yes.
Yes.
So for the meantime, we will let go of Mon because I know that
Thank you very much.
Ding Dong Dantes is probably looking for him too. So we will let you go and maraming salamat Mon for
Salamat,
doing this
Yusek.
with us.
Salamat po,
Yes.
DTI. And just share the slides to them and I'll be happy to reply to them. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sir Mon. Thank you. Afternoon. Okay, we now move to the second part. Actually, this is a two-part presentation this afternoon webinar. We've just finished our tax breaks for MSMEs. This time, Yusek Alma will be giving us practical guides or tips on how to prepare for office return, addressing workshop or workforce issues, managing health concerns, and calibrating operations. Yes, Yusek Alma, take it away.
Thank you, Nelly. So can you see the slides now? Nell?
It's still the slides of
Okay. I
for the
know.
question and answer.
I just
Yes.
wanted to know if
Yes.
It's there already. So we forgot
Yes.
kasi to say thank you to Mon. So it's here now anyway. So again, we need to thank Raymond for doing this for us with us for a very short notice. I called him several days ago lang and asked him to do this and he said yes right away. So PTTC took a poll yesterday asking how the ECQ affected the operation of MSMEs. 81% said they stopped operations and coming close in its heels was the cash flow concerns. And this morning, it was announced that ECQ will be extended to May 15 ba yun? In high-risk areas, including the National Capital Region. Those not in this list can cautiously face in general community quarantine. And our webinar session today is timely because it will focus on operations issues, especially since, as we said, 80% said they stopped their operation. So you and I know that reopening our businesses will not be a simple matter post-COVID. Life has changed, and on that we will all agree. And just how much the impact of that change will pervade our lives is the subject of so much studies, researches, articles, opinions, and of course, fake news. So if we plan to fight for the survival of our businesses, we have to take 2 steps to protect and run our businesses today, meaning we act now, or and we need to plan to retool our business for the future. And that means we make a decision today. And if we intend to stay in the game, address 2 issues. How to ride out the crisis to emerge stronger in the industry, and how to use what we had experienced to learn lessons that can help us win in this new world. Because make no mistake about it, it is a new world that we will be seeing. Today's webinar will assume we are getting ready to resume operation once we get our conditional freedom. Or as we say in jail terms, may parole, pag nagkaroon na tayo ng parole. But let me just emphasize something important before we proceed. Just because supply is reinstated does not mean that demand is created. Or just because you opened does not mean that your business will come flocking back. I said that because Monday's webinars hope to provide some insights in the economic prospects, particularly for tourism and travel, and what activities we can start resuming, and some innovations we can think of and implement in the interim once we go full blast. Today, we will focus on operational concerns, and there are so many considerations that we need to prepare our enterprises for to be able to hang that sign open in our business doors. And as they say, the devil is always in the details. So what do we need to do before resuming our business operation, and what changes do we need to put in place moving forward to help our MSMEs make sure that very little will fall between the cracks? I'm sharing with you checklists and some templates you can use as guide. Let me just qualify that statement. Kasi I was sharing to Nelly that this template is something that I put together. Ibig sabihin, I read a lot of operations, look at business recovery, look at the situations that are happening around, look at the periodicals that came out as a result of all of these issuances. And I thought that there's some things that we need to remember if we want to transition back to operation. And that's the basis of this checklist. And don't worry, I already offered to Nelly that we will give you the copy. It's a Word document. Medyo malaki pa nga siya because it is in table form, as well as some samples of templates that you can use for some of the suggested activities. So having said that, just later on, email Nelly if you need it, and then we will give it to you. For some who would like to take screenshots, that's also perfectly okay. So let's start. So, syempre, the first thing that you need to do is to check first. Ano ba ang kalagayan ng iyong where your business office is located? Is there an extension? Is there partial lifting? Is there total lifting? Or for your city, municipality, provincial, regional, or national? And what are the health requirements that will be asked from you when you open? And what sectors will be allowed to open? So just so that meron tayong base idea, ano ba to? Kasi kung hindi naman tayo allowed, there's no point in doing this, or we could at least postpone it at a later date. But if you're one of these provinces na pwede nang magbukas and all, at least as we move forward, you can take note of all of these reminders that I'm going to share with you. First, ito naman kailangan nating gawin while we are on ECQ. This does not require that you go to your office. But you need to prepare a status report on the financial condition of your business. Ano yung cash position mo? Anong financial obligations meron ka, including salaries? I-range mo lahat, ilista mo lahat ang accounts payables mo. Ano naman inaasahan mo? The prospects of receiving your payments for your accounts receivables, and prepare your financial plan. And this was particularly emphasized yesterday by Joey Bermudez, who said that at the end of the day, you need to determine ano ba yung mga kailangan mong bayaran, kasi sinabi nga ni Mon kanina, it's a cash flow problem. So kailangan masyadong maliwanag para sa atin kung ano yung mga schedules, ano yung kailangan nating i-amortize, ano yung hihingi tayo ng kapatawaran para sa utang na yon. And I'm sure a lot of companies, especially those big companies, might be in a position to do debt forgiveness. And debt forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean lahat wala na. It could be a percentage. But sabi nga nila, walang masama na magtanong. Ang talo ka na kung hindi ka nag-consider, hindi ka kaagad nagtatanong. So have that ready because you would need to find out what really are your responsibilities once you open. Next, you need to prepare your office task list or those activities that will need to be done whether or not there is business. So katulad niyan, Mon mentioned a while ago that you would need 30 days after ng lifting, kailangan po ng magbayad ng tax. So that means you will have financial reports and business requirements, those documentations that you would need, financial transactions such as payment of bills, collection of receivables, and other administrative activities that need to be done. Bakit kailangan mong gawin yung office task list na to? Because it will help you determine if you need financing or you want to continue operating. And this will also allow you to estimate how many people you may need to report in the office or for other arrangements, which I will take up later on for management of workforce. Next, review the work activities needed to deliver business results efficiently. So ito, bukod dun sa financials, meron tayong mga list of activities in the office or enterprise that even during lockdown, kailangan naka-continue. So do you have them? Do you have activities that continued even during lockdown? Or did you have activities that you assigned via WFH na sinasabi or work from home? Meron ba activities that you only partially needed? You have activities that are not needed at all. But pagdating mo sa office, kailangan mo na naman ulit. For example, hindi ka nagpapasok ng housekeeping personnel mo or naglilinis, janitor. Pero pagpasok mo ulit, kailangan mo ulit sila. So, list this down. And those that are no longer necessary because of reduced business. You need to come up with all of this list because you have to look at the operation on a new perspective given the business constraints. And then, prepare a timeline as to when the above activities will be done, will be phased in according to the requirements of the business. Kasi hindi naman lahat yan isang bagsak, pagbukas mo ng opisina, nandun sila lahat. Kailangan may plano ka rin. How are you transitioning to full operation? Ano yung pag-phase in mo ng negosyo mo? Anong activities ang kailangan mong gawin? And anong timeline kung paano siya gagawin? So that hindi rin mababurden yung office mo and your business into spending unnecessarily. Dahil remember, kailangan mo ng resources. So you just cannot afford to misspend or not to maximize your resources that are available to you. Susunod, you also have to prepare, like right now, your guidelines and protocols for your employees and staff, clients and customers, as well as suppliers and delivery. Kailangan masabi mo yung mga expectations mo and it has to be communicated to avoid misunderstandings. This is a good time to write it down and then maybe memo format so that when they come in or when you orient or do a pre-orientation, at least you will be able to tell them what these requirements are. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'll just go through these activities that you can do even while on lockdown. Next is to prepare your business recovery plan, meaning nag-set kayo siguro ng budget and targets last year. Why don't you try re-evaluating your business plan again pre-COVID? So ibig sabihin, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, hindi na nga mabilisan kung gusto mo nga monthly, pwede na rin. Make assumptions for how the business is foreseen to start picking up and what activities will be implemented to ensure this. Then prepare your action plans and timelines. So, sa mga pwede mong pick up in a business, list down the resources that will be needed to implement them and when you will need them. Then, i-prepare mo yung budget. How much will it cost to do all of these action plans and timelines? Next, siguro naman natuto tayo ng lesson natin dito. Get your crisis preparedness and business continuity plan ready. Kailangan, just in case, di ba, sinasabi nila kasi na nakakatakot sa return to freedom is that you don't know whether the disease will recur or whether there will be a repeat surge like just what happened in Singapore. So pag nangyari yon, tayo ba aatubili na naman, ninervyusin na naman, magpapanik na naman? Dapat hindi. Dapat this time, meron tayong plano so that if it happens again, everybody knows what to do. You assign personnel in case of emergencies. You have indicators for the activation of protocol which should be disseminated and defined. And you've got to let everybody know kung anong dapat nilang gawin. Dito dapat, hindi na forgivable yung nagpapanik ka pa din. Dapat ready na tayo. And I think I cannot overemphasize the value and the business sense of getting your crisis preparedness plan and business continuity plan ready. It is also for the survival of the company. We cannot afford another kind of lockdown like this. So if you plan to continue, then plan also for crisis and business continuity. And finally, it's a good time to refresh all of the business contacts, clients, or customers database, because sales and marketing activities, which we will discuss on Monday, need to be focused, not stopped. Kasi yung sasabihin, wala namang market. How sure are you? Because I will show you examples on Monday of certain companies that did innovative product development that allowed them to have kahit na konting business during this time of ECQ. But I'm saying that you have to refresh all the business contacts at maganda rin kasi na malaman mo ano bang nangyari dun sa business contact mo na yon or client or customer. Para lang nakikikumusta rin tayo. Si ABC Company, ano nangyari sa kanya? Ay, sumarado siya. Si ganitong kumpanya, bukas siya, pero nag-donate pa nga siya ng 5 bilyon. Si ganito, wala na, tinanggal na niya lahat yung tao. At least alam mo kung sino sa kanila yung ready siguro na mag-do business again with you after. And those na sasabihin mong ilagay mo na lang sila sa baba kasi hindi na siya priority because they have more serious problems than thinking about you at this time. So next, we have to prepare our office environment because I'm going to repeat, it's going to be a new world, which means before you go back to your office, especially if you closed it during the ECQ, you've got to make sure that you are going to do inventory and checking of all equipment, materials, supplies, yung IT system mo ba nagwo-work pa din and other assets to make sure they are in good working condition for the resumption of operation. Pumasok nga kayo, wala naman palang kuryente. Or pumasok naman pala kayo, wala naman pala kayong laptop or IT systems ongoing. So it's a waste of time and resource to do that. So next, you have to do general and thorough cleaning and disinfecting of the office. And they're saying that because a lot of people will be afraid to go back to work, you've got to check for the ventilation of your office space, baka kailangan ng change of air inside, and you've got to think about rearranging the workstations to ensure social distancing. Because it's a new world, it's the new normal, and the new normal is social distancing if we don't want a resurge of COVID or infection. Because remember, COVID is an unknown animal. They do not know when it will rear its crown again. So kailangan lagi tayong, siguro way of life na natin ito because people will be afraid for a long time. And I will again, as I said, discuss that tomorrow when we take up the issue about the new customer. Next, installation of hand sanitizing implements in strategic areas, most especially at the entrances. Kasi syempre magkakaroon kayo ng protocol even for your suppliers. O pag pumasok ka, kailangan mag-hand sanitize ka, kailangan bago mo kami kausapin, hygienic ka kasi baka mamaya carrier ka. So these are the fears that we will have. These are the fears that your employees will have. So make sure that you will have all of these implements also in strategic areas. And they say that installation of mass disinfection cabinets is also good. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi may mga, if you need to change your masks, you have to have a good way of disposing them. So some companies have started installing mass disinfection cabinets where employees can put that in a bin and change whatever they have to change before going out or before coming in. So it's a good idea to have that for consideration. Wait, I need to emphasize that all of the things I'm mentioning, some ideal ito eh. Lahat lang ng naisip ko na dapat gawin. And some you will have to make compromises because of resource constraints. But, and some of you would have other suggestions, and I'll be very interested to know about that. I want this table and guideline to be a living document. Ibig sabihin, if you think of something, dagdagan nyo to para humaba ng humaba yung ating mga guidelines, and it's something that na pwede nating i-share sa iba for their own consideration. At least, I think the time of ECQ and COVID is a time for sharing. No more selfish ownership of something. Lahat tayo kailangan matuto dito. So whenever we learn of something that works for us, let's go out and share it, because I think that's the essence of this period of reflection and meditation that we're having in our ECQ. So let me move on. Restrooms should have hand washing and sanitizing implements in place. And also that the shared areas must also have appropriate physical distances. Hindi na pwede yung dikit-dikit kayo na nagchichismisan pag lunch hour dun sa pantry. Baka hindi na pwede yon, because you would need, as I said, social distancing. Prepare implements and supplies such as temperature checks, hand sanitizers at strategic areas, hand washing implements, tissues and toilet papers, face masks if needed, disposable gloves, trash bins for expected increase in disposables. And finally, you also need to prepare your office supplies for all of these. Now, the next thing to do is to preparing your office environment is the pre-orientation of the staff, which can be done via e-meeting or huddle meeting for those who will be required to report per schedule drawn up. Bakit? Kasi you have to also discuss transportation details, because I don't know whether mass transport system will work for us again after this, because actually it's one of the sources of debates right now. Kasi pagka pinagsama-sama mo ulit yung mga tao sa transportation, will that increase the chances of infection again? So we don't really know. So if you're requiring them to report, you might need to discuss transportation details about, baka mamaya meron tayo dapat parang carpool or something. At least they would know how to get to the office. If other service establishments are not yet open, where do you get your food? In case they report for work already. And what about the hygiene and sanitation protocol for staff and clients? We need to discuss that also. Yeah, I will just give also an example. Sige, later na lang. You need to prepare the client or the customer area, which means, again, physical distancing arrangements for clients and customers, health and hygiene stations, protocol for disinfecting furniture and fixtures after every client use. So, kailangan pag umalis yung client, alam mo kaagad kung paano mo siya i-disinfect. Also, distancing reminders for clients and customers. You need to what do you call this? Wait, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that for some restaurants, for example, they reduce the number of tables by 10 to 20% to ensure that there's physical distancing. And then some businesses, they collected also customer details kasi kailangan mo yon pag kailangan mo ng contact tracing. So you might need to get people to now sign in pag pumasok sila. So at least alam mo kagad kung sino yung kukontakin mo pag merong nahawa. And distancing reminders for clients and customers na nakapaskel na sa inyong wall or nakalagay sa inyong reception area na that reminding everyone about the physical distancing. So now we go to the second leg, which is facing in your business operation. And the two important issues here are actually, number one, the management of the workforce issues. So while to face in the business operation, and it's going to be a new business operation, we also need to review the tasks coming from the task list. Remember, sinabi ko kanina sa pre-operating phase natin to provide or plan for, write down, prepare your task list and business recovery plans. And that's very important because they will form inputs to preparing your staffing requirements. So based on the office task list, ito hindi muna natin pinag-uusapan kung sino. We're just preparing tasks to prepare also for the reintegration of workforce. Why is that necessary? Because we need to know what kind of assignments will now be good, what kind of work or what type of work that they used to do will no longer be done, and what type of work can be considered for work from home. Diba sinabi ko kanina yon sa umpisa, yung preparing activity list. And now for the workforce issues, based on the task list, we now have to check the work or the admin activities list to assign staff to carry them out. You have to also inventory people. What were the measures taken during the ECQ? Distribute the task to available staff most competent to deliver results. Kasi minsan, yung location kung saan nandun yung staff nyo, hindi pa lifted yung kanyang ECQ. So, kailangan, hindi siya pwedeng pumasok pa. So, only those na lifted na or nasa general community quarantine na sila lang ang pwedeng pumasok. Distribute the task to available staff most competent to deliver results. Consult and communicate well so that the changes are understood. Then we prepare also guidelines for work from home activities and the resources needed to enable these. To avoid crowding workspaces, maybe you can think about staggering your time, or meal breaks can also be scheduled in batches. So you don't need to, provide a big room for all of these meetings and meal breaks and all of these punching in and out of time cards or IDs, etc. Then you do pre-orientation of the staff, which can be done via e-meeting, as I said. I keep on repeating this because it is part of the first phase, but it is also part of the second phase. Discuss with employees the health, hygiene, and safety measures that will be implemented to ensure their well-being. And if financial assistance will be needed by employees, provide assistance on how to access this through the different support mechanisms. And I'm glad that Mon mentioned those a while ago. Make sure that protocols and guidelines are provided to and properly explained also to employees. And all important contact numbers needed in case of emergency shall be provided at prominent places accessible to all staff needed. You also need to think about preparing your new office protocols, like common equipment like telephones, cell phones that require close contact with faces and mouths must be discouraged. So you need to think about alternatives. Do you have to install speaker phones or speakers so that no handling will be required? So I guess you will be creative about that. Then common use of keyboards, laptops that will require touching screens or keyboard mouses. Printers must be avoided or at least be disinfected every 15 to 30 minutes. Defining how this will be used when the office opens should be planned for to ensure observance of guidelines. It is also suggested that common folders and files used be converted into e-files or go digital. And if not possible, gloves should be used in handling and discarded, and this should be discarded after using it. Kasi tayo lahat may mga filing cabinet and files pa. And of course, these are being handled by people. Then prepare the list of work that will be done, such as reports, business permits, financial requirements that needs actual handling of papers. So that, again, proper protocol could be prepared for all of these requirements. Finally, addressing health concerns. The physical and mental health assessment of returning staff is very important. Na-depressed ba sila? Kasi hindi sila nakakuha ng rasyon from the LGU. Just kidding. But anyway, it's a very important thing because especially fear. Pagpasok nila dyan, tatakot pa sila. What will happen to me? Kasi parang matagal tayo lahat nakakulong eh. So we don't know really. We're very uncertain. We're very nervous about going out on whether we are going to contract the disease. In fact, mas madami pa nga yung psychosomatic eh. Yung naiisip mo na yung symptoms, meron ka. Kasi nga, nabugbog tayo ng husto ko ano yung mga nangyari sa mga tao, no? Before, during the peak ng ating COVID pandemic. We might also need to issue personal protective implements for our staff, like hand masks, gloves, whatever that we think will be needed in the office. So when staff exhibits coughs and colds or fevers, we request them or him or her to go home immediately because I'm sure pag ubo pa lang niya, lahat ng mga tao mo doon, kliyente at saka empleyado, matatakot sila. And maybe it's time to get your own glasses or cups and bring your own utensils, and you have to properly keep them so that you're them and health concerns. Discourage physical meetings if it can be done online, or ensure that at least social distancing is observed. And also, you have aid kits properly filled and maintained and should be at a place accessible to all of the employees, visible to everyone in case of health emergency. Finally, be patient. And I don't mean the physical kind. Recovery can be a long drawn out process. And what is important is to keep addressing the key issues as they come, especially if they're unplanned. So I think the last, my slide will be this one, that ikaw mismo, your staff will take their cue from you. So inspire your people to believe in a future, because that's what leadership is all about. Kung ikaw mismo nadidepress, lahat ng mga team mo nadidepress din. But if you're showing resolve that makakabangon tayo dito, and we will again become very successful as we were prior to COVID, then your staff will start to believe and have faith that indeed everyone can rise and survive this crisis and even surpass past achievements, because we know that we are resilient and we can do it. So I think that's it. Nelly?
Yes. Thank you very much, Yusek. Very practical, very extensive. I think this does not only apply to MSMEs, but this also applies to even government offices.
Yeah,
opisina, hindi lang po yung may mga negosyo. Because going or listening to what you presented, parang ang dami po namin pwedeng i-apply rin sa opisina namin. We were actually discussing about anticipatory measures pag bumalik na po tayo, and I think these are very good inputs to all of us. Yes,
Okay.
po you, Yusek.
Kinarir ko yan, ha? Lumabas yata ang pagka-OC ko dyan, eh.
Okay. Wala po tayong tanong malinaw, but meron pong, palagay ko, some of the people would really want to have a copy of present. They can facilitate, like, for example, yes, doing it, baka ilalagay na lang din namin sa isang word, nasa word file po, so we can send and we can. Again, I don't have questions, as I was saying, dahil malinaw naman po. It was very clear and it was really very simple and understandable, both po yung presentation ni Yusek Alma and yung presentation po on tax measures.
Actually, Nelly, I have
on. So
some of
rest assured, especially for those who would want to have copies of this, sharing them to you, kasama po ng CNF, and at the same time, i-upload po namin ito pong webinar po natin this afternoon. Or you'd like to see the result of the poll?
I would just like to inform them also that some of the items that I included there, ginawan ko siya ng template para fill in the blanks na lang. So I will include that in the materials that we will be.
Yes, you said, wala po kayo.
So I said, even the some of the portions there, I reduced it to tables that they will just fill up para hindi sila mahirapan. Now I will just share that. I will just share that to those na
so they can customize it actually.
Yes, right. I don't have your audio. Can you?
Sure. Sige.
Hindi ko, Nelly, wala kang audio?
Okay. Are you sharing them now, Yusek, or later?
Later na. Sasama namin dun sa, kasi puro ano yun eh. Yeah. No, I will just email to you and then ano mo na lang, ibigay mo na lang sa kanila.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Yusek, we will just wait for the material through email, so we can also pass it on to all the attendees today. By the way, let me just inform you that we have more than ba po audio. Meron naman po. Yusek, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay po. Okay. Sige po. We will just include it in the email. Okay po. Yes. Yusek, I will present to you the results of the poll. Arnold, we read the results. Okay, the poll. In the group, DTS in this way. So we can share knowledge about taxes and practical information about getting back to offices, and so they can be encouraged to work with government rather than just always ranting. Ganda naman po, ano? Okay. Hi. Meron pa dito Yusek. Habang ko muna. Mabuhay, sabi niya, boss. Yusek Alma, what are your thoughts? Advices for the... Sabi niya, eto po. What are
Nelly, wait. Nelly, I did not hear the...
for the reopening of massage and spa, wellness and beauty sector.
Nelly, I did not get the first one. Wala ako narinig na transmission.
Okay.
Pakiulit, wala ako narinig.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Oo, sige.
Okay, sabi niya. Yusek Alma, what are your thoughts, advices for the reopening of the massage and spa, wellness and beauty sector?
Alam mo, I hate to put you what you call this, to leave you hanging, pero I will be presenting. No, I will be presenting tomorrow a graph ng mga certain activities that are going to be allowed to open depending on the time frame ng what you call this, ng enhanced quarantine. Medyo challenging lang kasi ang mga spa at parlor kasi masyadong yung social distancing So siguro I will say that not in the next 3 months after ng lifting.
Okay. Meron pa Yusek, meron pa siyang tanong dito. Ang ganda ng mga questions pala nila na dito lang sa side. Okay. Please give your, sabi niya, our business is a field of events and line marketing. How do you see the future of this industry this 2020?
Tomorrow attend ka ng webinar kasi may presentation ko dyan sa events and meetings. But well, just to answer that a little bit, it's going to be really radically changed kasi even the guidelines and protocol on social distancing, right now, ang sinasabi nila is they will not be allowing, maybe within the next 12 months, meetings that will be more than 50 people. So that means talagang medyo challenging yan for events companies. So there are some innovations na ginagawa ng iba as well as some things na napag-isipan namin na pwedeng gawin ng mga events companies, which we crystallized in the report, in the presentation tomorrow for innovations and breakthroughs. I hope whoever asked that question will be able to join us tomorrow for a more what we call this lengthy answer and presentation on that aspect.
Yeah. Actually, tomorrow is Monday. It's on Monday.
I'm sorry, Monday pala. Sorry, Monday.
Okay. Going
I think
back.
This one, Nelly, di ba? Kasi we will have this on
Okay,
Monday.
meron pa dito, Yusef.
Okay.
Yes.
Sige, go ahead.
Please give your thoughts on the new normal. Please give your thoughts on the new normal for private schools, specifically like our preschools.
Ah, okay.
Naka niyo, Yusek?
Yeah. Sige, kasi hindi naman siya included sa sa presentation natin bukas because mostly is on Monday because mostly those are for tourism and travel. One of the industries that they say is going to be radically changed post-COVID is actually the educational system. So, ang dami-daming mga possibilities na pwede ngayong mangyari sa education, especially since they don't think that getting the kids back to school within 12 months after the would be advisable because of the fear of the resurgence ng infection. So the educational system really needs to think about innovative ways to deliver education. And that means they need to probably hasten their digital transformation. This has long been talked about, but unless something like this happens, normally hindi natin napag-iisipan to. But I think it's high time that we start to think about this because I think the new wave will really be the hastening of the fourth industrial revolution and the digital transformation will be there. So I gave a lecture last month with St. Paul's about the hastening of digital transformation in education. So I think some of those things, I'll probably send whoever the one who asked that question to you. I could send some of the slides to them so they will see what the suggestions are moving forward for educational system.
Yeah, okay. That's from Maloy Lozada. Maloy, as promised by Yusek Alma, we will be sending you a copy of her presentation. This time, Yusek, coming from Janice, what steps would you recommend in physical and mental health assessment of returning staff?
Okay. Madami akong sinishare pag naiisip ko yung mga tinatanong nyo. So I'm doing right now a protocol for a company whether they will be requiring rapid testing pagpasok nila. So we're doing the evaluation now of the required tests. So just give us time kasi we need to find out the effectiveness of each of these tests coming in and whether they can really detect COVID infection para hindi mag-waste ng resources din ng mga companies to do that. But those are the things na pinag-uusapan ngayon. Will companies be requiring rapid testing once their employees come back? Will they be requiring implements like yung mga binabalancing mga temperature and everything? And I think simply put, baka yung sa temperature would be a requirement. The rapid testing, if we think that it's viable, we will share the findings with you. We're just studying it right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Yusek. Another question from Sam Acosta. Sabi dito, disasters happen. It's a matter of when and not if. What can be a best or plans or agenda in support of virtual working infrastructure as well as standards, frameworks, and guidelines in consideration of this pandemic experience?
That's why I said one of the things you need to prepare for is actually a business crisis preparedness, yung manual, yung natin, dapat meron na talaga tayo ngayon. And I'm trying to devise one. Actually, I started this project nung pampanahon natin Nelly sa DOT to put up a crisis management manual. Unfortunately, hindi kita masasagot ng buong buo kasi medyo maraming requirements talaga dyan. But here's what we can do. Once you have completed that, well, you could do this independently because there are manuals naman that takes into consideration things that you would do for business recovery, for business continuity, for earthquakes, for fires, for everything, pero wala kasi yung health. And what we're doing right now dun sa mga manuals, ini-insert namin ngayon yung maraming health considerations. And I think sa akin naman, pag ginawa naman namin yun is we're open to sharing all of this information with you because as I said, this is a changed world. If we can avert disaster and crisis by helping one another out. And I think all of this information should be out there in the open and shared with everyone. So marami akong promises dito. I know that Nelly will remind me, but I will also share that that crisis preparedness manual that we're doing, so that you will be able to get this what you call this activity going. Nelly remembered that we were supposed to do a workshop on preparing crisis manuals.
Yes.
Baka naman you could do that sa PTTC, and we can teach them how to do the manuals.
Yeah. Okay. If ever we won't be able to go back physically for the regular training, maybe we can do it again through webinars. Let's find out
Sure.
which is the best way. Because I think it would require a lot of workshops.
Yes, kasi at saka maraming detalye yan eh. In fact, I just lifted some of the things na sinabi ko rito from the manual that we prepared.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one final question, Yusek. This time again from Regine de la Peña. She's talking about marketing, although marketing will be our major topic on Monday.
Yes.
But tanungin ko na lang din po dito, will you be having a webinar on how to market or any marketing tips during the post-ECQ? I work in a travel video production industry, and we know how badly affected tourism is. Hope to learn new insights po. Thank you.
You know what we were planning to do with Nelly is that we will provide broad insights, innovative ideas for marketing on Monday. But each of those recommendations there, we want to come up with either a webinar or workshop to really teach people how to do it. So pag may sinabi kaming isang product line na pwede mong gawin, sana masundan namin yun, natuturuan ka namin kung paano mo siya gagawin. That was the plan. So I cannot promise, because we only have 2 hours to discuss all of this, I cannot promise that we will be able to answer your questions. But maybe if you ask Nelly to do all of these things at bigyan ulit kayo ng webinar series, I'm more than willing to come in and also teach how to do the product development for all of these innovative ideas that we will be discussing on Monday.
Yes, okay, Yusek. Actually, we have very big rooms in PTTC. If we're concerned about social distancing, maybe we can accommodate a number of people for the workshops, but taking also into consideration the social distancing. But anyway, these are all in our mind. All the questions that you're shooting to us are, of course, noted, and we will look into how we can address all these things. May humabol pa, Yusek, na sa travel. Sabi niya, we are a travel agency, and it was announced this morning that tourism may be suspended until September. Siguro sobra pa. Does the government have programs on how we can cope up, given that we also have overhead expenses to catch up with? Are there subsidies also for micro small business? Thank you very much. Did you get the question?
Yes, I did. Yung mga subsidies that apply generally to MSMEs were discussed by Mon Abrea a while ago, right? Minention na niya yung mga available help coming from the government. Specific to tourism, I don't think we are in a position to give an answer to that. I would like to focus my discussion mostly on what we can do as private sector and what you can suggest to the government that they do as part of supporting you dun sa mga madidiscuss sa Monday. But as regards to the policies of the government, what you read is also what we read in the newspaper. Hindi kami masyadong aware because wala na kami sa DOT. I think we should ask DOT those questions.
Okay. Actually, last Monday, we had our Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Director, Jerry Clabecillas, and he shared to us one of the programs of the DTI, which is Pondo para sa Pagbabago, or P3 program. It's microfinance. And I think yung MSMEs natin coming from the tourism sector would be can actually avail of those programs.
Mm.
But we would also want, siguro one of these days, if we can bring in somebody from the Department of Tourism to also share to our
Yeah.
tourism MSMEs what their programs are. Because right now, what we've seen as a part of what they're doing, training and informing our MSMEs in the tourism sector is something about ano nga ito? Filipino brand of service, and things like those. But I think our MSMEs would want to learn more than, Filipino brand of service at this very time. Tama, Yusek, di ba?
Ah. Yeah. Kailangan
Okay.
muna natin siguro
So,
survival plans.
We're
Survival
only 5
plans.
minutes away from 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Nelly, I didn't get the first question that you threw. Wala ba? Question ba yon?
Wala po. Yung travel agency, yung sinasabi niya nga kung ano yung pwedeng tulong. Yun lang po.
Ay, hindi, yung
Kinukwento ko lang na
first.
merong programa naman.
No, what I said was
The
the
first one
first
is-
question nung unang-una mong tinanong, yun ang hindi ko nakuha eh. Whether that was a question. Was that a question?
Yung
Top
physical and mental health assessment. You
No,
answered most, let's see.
pinakaunang question that you
Your
you
thoughts
threw.
on the private school.
No. Bago pa doon, nung pag-open natin ng open forum, meron first question.
From
I
the
wasn't
guest,
able.
Yusek, or from...
Yata. Because
Okay.
I don't know whether I was able to answer that.
Okay, the one that I have here on the list.
Yung pinakauna, when you opened.
Okay.
Was that a
It's
question?
it's okay. It's about reopening of the massage and spa
Before that
sector.
pa.
What are your
Wala
thoughts
ka
and
na-
what are your advices?
Before that pa, wala?
that, wala na po.
Wala kang question?
Wala na po.
Okay. So, akala ko kasi may isa kang question kasi walang audio kanina eh. And I heard you speaking. Okay.
Okay. Sige po. Okay, so... Okay, Yusek.
Yeah.
Oo, nawawala.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Looks something went wrong. We're trying to get you back. Okay, Yusek. Okay po, 5 minutes before 5 o'clock po, do you have closing statements?
No, I hope to see them on Monday. And I'm really, really glad that you gave a lot of insightful questions. And to the extent that we will be able to help you and guide you during this time, please be assured that we will do everything we can to do just
Okay,
that.
so we have our question poll. Arnold, if you can just show the result of our poll. Arnold. Okay, thank you very much, Yusek.
Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating.
Arnold, thank you. Yes, Arnold, please, thank you, Yusek. We'll see you on Monday. Arnold, can you put on the screen now the poll result? Arnold, result.
It's there. I can see it.
Okay. I cannot see it. Okay. Yusek, pa-explain naman, pwede. Hindi ko siya makita.
The poll result is, your question is what
What do we have
challenges
on
are
the
you
screen,
likely to
Arnold?
encounter as you try to base back your business operation? 85% answered funding and cutting costs. And 56% said changing of business models. And bringing employees back is 23%. I think for me, I really like the 56% to answer changing business model. Maybe because it's really time for us to do that. That's it, Nelly.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Yusek.
Okay, welcome.
I'll just go back to here. Okay. Okay, so we'd like to invite you on Monday. That's not tomorrow because today is Friday. On Monday, this will be the content of our webinar. As It will again start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Learning to live again, economic impact of COVID, the winners, the gainers, and the biggest losers, tourism and travel prospects, how fast or how slow will the recovery be? It's all about trust, the challenge of staying in the minds of clients. And we again have a very good lineup of resource persons on Monday in the person, of course, of Yusek Almarita Jimenez. And we will also be joined by Maury Rodriguez, Chief Innovation Officer of Eon Group. And for sharing of plans and programs, the Bicol Recovery Plan will be shared to us by Mr. Francis A. Santos of Bicol. He's the Culture and Tourism Office of the City Officer of City of Naga. And we'd like again to listen to you. Please scan the QR code on your screens and send us, or either you can actually fill it out so that you can send us the survey, the feedback, your feedback about how we ran the webinar today. It can be on bit.ly/CSF Day 2 or scan the QR code. And like us on Facebook, we'll be uploading our recorded webinar session on our Facebook account, also on our website, which is PTTC.GMEA or pttc.gov.ph. Or if there's anything that you'd like to learn more from us or you'd like to ask from us, you can email us at learn@pttc.gov.ph. Thank you very much, and hope that everyone is safe back in their respective homes. Again, in behalf of the Philippine Trade Training Center, our Executive Director, Nestor Palabiab, and our market, Roland Inyon, Judith Ilagan, and of course, Arnold Arenas, Alex Arcelias, and Edgar Burches. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Good afternoon.